all your money. Give me your money now.
I can't help you. I can't.
Give me your money
I can't help you.
now.
I'm Michael Bain, and this is The Best Defense. Over the next series of shows, we're going to give you a toolkit that's going to make you safer in your everyday life. Let's get started.
Give me all your money. Give me your money now.
I can't help you. I can't.
Give me your money
I can't help you.
now. I will kill you.
Yeah, 911. I just shot a lady. She made me shoot her. I had to shoot her. 401 Stanford. Just get someone over here. I think she's dead. Yeah, I had to.
Drop the weapon! Sir, drop the weapon!
She made me shoot her.
Sir, drop it!
Well, there's certainly a lot more to surviving a critical incident than just shooting straight.
That's exactly right. There's so many training programs and so many people who practice shooting skills who never really take into consideration the aftermath of a shooting.
In this situation, Mike handled the shooting parts fine. He actually survived the knife attack, but because he hadn't planned realistically for the immediate aftermath, the law enforcement response, how to deal with having just shot someone, the 911 call, the person on the ground who may or may not still be a threat, everything really went downhill after he survived the first attack.
That's exactly right. If you look at some of the things that he did in that incident, there are a number of things that went wrong. You listen to the way he spoke on the phone, the fact that he hung up the phone, didn't stay on the phone with the 911 operator after he called, the fact that he touched the body, he picked up the knife. There's so many things that he did that essentially will work against him. Even if he were to survive the incident entirely, it would work against him in the long run.
Absolutely. Sometimes people hear things like, well, you're supposed to go secure the weapon, you're supposed to render aid to the person that you've just shot, all of these things. The reality is that just like a lot of things that come out of law enforcement or military circles for training, people try to apply them to concealed carry self-defense, and they just sometimes don't apply at all. In this case, he puts himself in much greater danger by going into that person who may still be a threat.
Also, one of the things you have to take into consideration is the perspective of the police officer who's arriving at the incident. They've gotten a radio call, they have some basic information about what's going on, but they don't necessarily know the details, they don't know who the good guys and the bad guys are. All they know is that there's somebody standing there who's armed with a knife and a gun. They try to take control of the situation. If the person is not responding, if they're not listening to verbal commands, it's a recipe for disaster.
Absolutely. So in this case, we had a situation where the first tragedy was averted, but the aftermath of having to shoot someone is a bad enough problem for the family. Now you've gotten yourself shot, the officer shot someone who really wasn't a bad guy, the community, the entire gun-owning public, of course the families of both the officers and the person who was originally defending themselves, all have to deal with this tragedy because the immediate aftermath wasn't planned for.
Exactly right. So what you need to do is make sure that you plan for that aftermath. You need to think it through. You need to make sure that you have tactics that go beyond just the physical tactics of shooting. Let's see a better way to handle this scenario.
Give me all your money.
I can't help you.
Please,
I don't
give me
have
all your
anything.
money.
Just
I need your money. Give me your gun!
put the knife down. Put the knife down. Don't make me shoot. At 911, a lady with a knife just threatened to kill me at 401 Stanford. I had to shoot her. My name's Mike Davis. I'm wearing a brown Carhartt jacket and blue jeans, and I'm about 6 foot tall. And Yeah, I'm okay. I don't know how she is. I haven't checked her. She still has the knife by her. I hear the police coming right now. I hear them coming. Here they are. I'm gonna put my gun away, and we'll see. I don't know what else.
Hands in the air! That's what I need! What I need! Hands in the ground in front of you! Slide your belly! Turn away from me! Do not move, you understand me?
I understand.
In that version of the scenario, you saw that things played out not only in a successful way as far as the shooting itself, but also all the details of the aftermath.
Absolutely. We go back right to the very beginning of that scenario. While it wasn't textbook, it certainly was a lot better. Mike came out of his workplace with a flashlight in his hand. He checked the area, he made sure the door was locked as we would if we were leaving our workplace, and then he began to go to his car. As soon as he realized there was somebody else present, he put the flashlight on them, not only just to identify him, but also because of that force multiplier. A little bit disorienting, a little bit distracting for that person who has an agenda and is coming towards you. Tried to get away, tried to get back through the door. That didn't work. Went to his firearm, warned the person, stop, drop the knife, stay back, don't make me shoot you. All of those types of warnings that we should give. When he realized he had no other choice, he took the shot, and it just continued being better from there.
Exactly right. He got on the phone, got in contact with 911, and if you listen to the details of the call, he not only identified himself, he identified his location, he identified what he was wearing, he mentioned that he was still armed, and he stayed on the phone, which is a very important thing. You want to make sure, because all the 911 calls are going to be recorded, you want to make sure that you have that working on your behalf, and you maintain that communications throughout the entire incident.
Absolutely, and also during that incident, you need to be aware that the dispatcher is relaying as much of that information as they can to the officer. Responding to a call like that, person with a knife, person with a gun, any kind of armed call, gets an officer amped up. The more information they have, if they already believe in their mind or they've been told by the dispatcher that the good guy is wearing jeans and a brown jacket, they immediately see a guy in jeans and a brown jacket. They're predisposed to think, okay, let me give this person a chance to respond to the commands. The other thing that Mike did the whole time was continue to check his area. And if you notice, he also moved out of that corner where he's originally trapped. He got into a position where if anybody else did show up, he might be able to escape and avoid having to do any more shooting.
And very importantly, at the very end, when the officer showed up, he listened carefully to the officer's commands, he complied with the officer's commands, and he did nothing at all that would cause the officer to think that he was a threat. He did everything right. It played out exactly the way it should. All the aftermath aspects of any type of shooting or any type of violent incident are a very important part of your best defense.
Up next, Rob.